Okay.
Hi.
Okay, so
How'd you get over there?
well, magic of editing.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, we
And
crawled.
we had to move because of the smoke.
Yeah, it follows beauty, so we had to move and hope that didn't find us again. Anyway, so me and Tracy crawled around in these caves.
If you made it to the cave-in, it could have been very close to a quarter-mile.
Yeah, we were crawling on our hands and knees. We could walk in a few places, but it was twisty, turny. It was a neat. But if you get claustrophobic, it was a little bit of that. And it finally got to where the ceiling had caved in. The opening was too small for me or Tracy to crawl in there. We didn't have any way or any tools to move stuff out of the way, and we felt like it was wise to turn around. But anyway, Dan told us the story and gave us the information. We went and investigated it and found these locations.
A friend of mine found this cave many years ago. Don't know why nobody's ever found it. Does it have a lot of greenage in front of it?
Yeah, it's a jungle in there, in front of it.
Because I couldn't tell you what it looked like back then. Anyway, but he found this. This guy actually took. I could mention his name. Might piss him off, but we'll just whoop his coon dog ass.
Just say Steve.
Steve Warby. And
By the way, he was an old Vietnam tunnel rat, which
Yeah.
explains why he was fearless about going in there.
oh yeah, but he took. I can't remember. Did he say he took Mel Fisher or one of Mel Fisher's guys back to the cave after?
I don't know. That I don't know.
I want to say he took Mel there.
Well, all I know is he was hired by his team to take them to
Yeah.
any mines or caves that he knew about.
Yeah. Anyway, he took him down to that one, and
Mel was the treasure hunter that found the Atocha, and later came to Utah searching for where the treasure came from, and hired Steve as maybe a couple other guys to try to find the mines where the treasure that was on the Atocha had come from. Its, what do you call it, provenance?
yes. Yeah.
Because all the treasure that is accumulated in the portion that goes to the king has to have a provenance to it to be legal, from what I understand.
Yeah, basically a chain of custody.
So it has to kind of tell where it is, where it came from, and make sure the king got his percentage.
You ever seen how precise a ship's manifest is?
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah. So tell the rest of the story
Rest of what story?
about the article in the newspaper
Oh,
in that general vicinity and
Well,
why we're there looking.
That's kind of how I learned of the story years ago. Someone told me that the story has been published in one of the old treasure hunting books. I don't know. However, the publication I saw was a reprint of a 1946 printing,
Mm-hmm.
and I think I was doing some newspaper searches, and that's how I found it.
Found it.
But anyway, I'm not familiar enough with the whole story to tell the whole story, but Basically, there was two guys down in New Mexico. Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Missionaries or
I are
something.
missionaries.
Yeah.
Because he called the other guy his companion, so I'm assuming they're
Yeah.
from Utah.
Yeah.
Anyway, and they got into a crowd of people down there who were just gathering and talking and whatever. And one of them said something about going back to the Uinta Mountains. And little old Mexican woman perks up and, Uintas? Uintas? I have a story to tell. And she said that when she was a little girl, her family was up in the Uintas, and they had a gold mine.
Well, she must have been there for quite a while because she said she went in as a little girl.
That's
true.
true.
And then later she was talking about her husband.
And came out and had a husband. So
Yeah.
how long they were up there mining, we don't know.
20 years.
Could have been a family mine.
Right.
But anyway, short part of that story is that her and her husband took off one day, and when they came back, all their family was dead. They had been killed by the Indians, and
I think they were hunting meat or something.
yeah, feel free to chime in.
They were hunting camp. They took off hunting camp meat, and when they came back, the whole rest of everybody was laying there dead, and there was Indians going through their camp.
And they gathered them up, and they put them in the mine. At the time, no, prior to this, they were living in the cave.
Yeah, there was a cave nearby.
If anybody's familiar with this story, I think it's called what? The Lost Souls Mine?
The Mine of the Lost Souls.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, they gathered up what little gold they could, or what they could carry, and took some back down to Mexico with them, but there really isn't any indication of them leaving anything behind other than
a valuable mine.
Well, when they said that they gathered up what they could carry,
Yeah.
that tells me they left something there.
Right.
So
they said they mortared it up or bricked it up.
They mortared it up, and it was behind some mulberry.
Yeah, they put brush and stuff
Bushes.
in the way.
But yeah, there's been a lot of stories that's popped up over the years that seems to tie in with it, but I've still got one location up there I'd like to go look at. That's big patch of mulberry.
Well, I can guarantee you that the caves that we went in today, if it was in the same canyon, not very far away from where this other story supposedly happened, and I can guarantee you that they knew about those caves that were up there. And one of our mutual friends had a friend that got into one of those caves that we went in today and fell down in a hole and was lost for several hours and found his way out a mile or two away because he couldn't get back up where he had fallen down.
And the other guy, now this is what makes a few people believe that this is not a natural cave, is because when Warby went in that cave and he was in one of the areas that was a little more open, he's walking along and all of a sudden the ground breaks out from under his feet just as he's making that last step, and came that close to going down in a hole that he said when he dropped a rock down it, he counted 6 seconds.
Yeah.
That's a pretty deep hole.
Yep. Well,
And he said that it had wood planks and just dirt over the
thrown
top
over
of that.
And we got speculating that it's most likely that it was an audit or a shaft that went straight down, that when they left, they booby-trapped.
Well, maybe it wasn't intended to be a booby trap.
And it might have just got old and rotted away.
Exactly.
It might have been a winds, where they lifted her up.
Because I can't see somebody digging a hole that deep for a trap.
Well, they could have followed the vein, made it, and then when they pulled out to leave, they used that as a trap, possibly.
See, I think they were just done with that hole, and they thought, you know what, just in case somebody accidentally falls in it, we ought to cover it up.
Maybe so. It's just hard to speculate, but irregardless, he almost died in there. And then we have know of another guy who fell down in one of those holes. I'm not sure which one, and he couldn't get back up, and he ended up crawling around in there for several hours and found another entrance and was able to get out. And he was about a mile or more away from where he originally went in. At least that's the story.
Yeah.
And I don't know the guy personally, so I can't attest to it. I don't know, but it's very interesting that Steve, who we know and trust, had a story very similar to this more recent occurrence,
Well, it sounds like they were in the same cave.
or one of those sister caves right there, because there's three of them, and we didn't get to the end of any of them. They got too narrow and tight for me and Tracy to feel comfortable going on. So anyway, very interesting.
You've seen. I didn't go up with them. I've seen a few names on the trees up there. We won't mention any of them though.
There were some.
There's some very questionable people out there. I'll tell you that.
There were some. We found a cross in the tree. Whether or not it's really old or not, it was in a pine tree. It had grown over quite a bit. I don't think it was old enough to be in Spanish. You weren't there.
I know, but you had some pretty good pictures of it.
We found a cat face carved into a aspen tree.
Now that was old.
And the aspen tree was dead, and it was facing one of the mines. That was interesting.
I'll bet you $10 if you go up there and peel the bark off that tree, there'll be another catfish shows up in the next year or two, pretty close to there.
Good. That tree's been dead probably for 5 years now or more. It's an old aspen, and it's big.
I get a kick out of just sitting back and listening to all the theories on the cat faces. You know.
Yeah.
Who's the guy they blame it on?
I don't know. I've heard them talk about him, but I'd like to put a trail camera up and see who shows up.
I know just the place to do that.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you, every time one of those trees dies, withers away,
we could do
within a year or two, a new one shows up.
We could do a whole video on the cat faces all over the mountain. What do you think they represent, Dan, just in your opinion? If they
represent?
An original, good Spanish cat face.
Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
I have no idea.
You want me to tell you what I think they mean?
It's not what they mean. It's not what I think they represent. But I think that their origin, I don't think this guy that everybody says, and I wish I could remember his name, that everybody says, oh, so-and-so made him. He said he did. Well, maybe he did.
He might have made
Did he ever say why he made him?
Right.
He might have been part of the very group I'm talking about.
Right.
I think they're tied in either with the Hole in the Wall gang or possibly even Jesse James' crew.
Well, could be. I don't know.
They're all over the Uintas. They're in Colorado. I've heard a report of them over in Nevada.
I think they're Spanish. I think they're mining claims.
Just for the record, I do not think they are Spanish.
Well, what I find unique about them is you find them very often near mines.
Yeah.
So I think they're associated with mining claims by whichever group, I don't know.
Might be just a cattle brand, but if it's a cattle brand,
it's not registered.
Number one, not registered. Number two, this guy's got a lot of damn cattle.
And he's got a lot of damn sore cattle, because that's a big ass brand. That would take some serious carving. That cow would be sore for months. Well, what do you, any other things to add to this before it's too difficult?
You know as well as I do, we could go on for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Visit the blog site.
We went to, well, we better not mention that, because I don't know I don't know the mineral rights on that one. I don't want to mention that one. The blog site?
Well, the cat's already out of the bag. We went up to the Red Ledges.
Yeah.
very interesting site. It always has been. It's someone told me just the other day, I think it might have been Dave, but he was telling me how someone said that the Red Ledges is the largest mining site or largest mine in the Uintas. I'm here to tell you that ain't true. It is one of the larger, but it's not the largest.
It's sure been worked a lot, though.
Yes, it has. I mean, you get there back behind those Red Ledges and everything around you,
It's
whether
been
you
disrupted.
believe it or not,
It's been
believe what you will, that's tailings.
Oh, it is. When
all
when
tailings.
we were up there, we saw several blasting caps just laying on top of the ground. That, you know, that's why it was so disrupted, is people have been up there and blasted that whole formation to pieces to try to find what's there. I think there's a lot there. I just think it's very fine, and most people are too impatient to mine it like the Spanish did.
Well, I've been under the impression for years that the Utes own the mining or the mineral rights there. And I don't mean they have a claim on it. I mean they own the mineral rights, and so
Right. We don't really know
I'm
the
not going to go
status.
digging there. And
Yeah, I don't really know the status, but if you look into it, make sure you check the status of it before you do any prospecting up there. But it is definitely really neat. Old location, a lot of history up there.
It looks like sulfur. Might be sulfur. Doesn't go anywhere.
See, this looks like guano right there.
Oh, yeah.
Smells like it too.
Oh, yeah. I was talking about this going up. Snakes up here.
Snakes? You see a snake?
No?
Oh, it just smells snaky.
I said it stinks up here.
Oh yeah, it's a bat going on. How far up in there does it go?
Keeps going. Goes to the right and it goes to the left. Anyway, somebody's been here. Because there was a rock right there kind of blocking the passage.
They brought it out of the way.
Yep.
It's like somebody crawled in there.
Well, that's what I want to do. Greg said it looks like a mine to him when he went in. But the front of this looks like a natural cave.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe they went into the cave, saw some ore, and went straight down for 100 and whatever feet.
I don't know. Big old badger being here. Or worse. Geez, I heard a rock fall for a ways. Yeah. And there's lots of sparklies on the walls in here.
What?
Lots of sparklies on the walls in here.
Really?
Yeah, quartz. Lots of quartz, or is that water? There's some water. There's definitely some moisture in here. I thought it was sparklies, but it's water. Cold air in here.
What's a damn cave?
It goes 3 directions here.
Greg hasn't been in here. He's full of crap.
What's that?
Greg hasn't been in
This is
here.
a lot further than 20 feet.
The sad thing is, not on mine.
No, look at all the moisture.
Wow. Unless that goes out to the front of that.
Well, a bunch of mosquitoes in there. I don't know, but this goes quite a ways. Still going. Back in there. I don't see any marks of tool marks or anything in here.
No, it's all natural. Get a video over here.
Can't hardly crawl and run a camera. I want to have this in case a badger comes out. I'll have it on video anyway. Hope I'm not jinxing myself.
What the heck is that? Wow. You didn't do that. Yeah. This sounds like the one that Mick talks about, where he crawled around in here for days looking for that. Well, for hours looking for the exit.
Somebody
There's been a lot of people.
dug a hole right here.
Yeah. That's the don't fall in it. Maybe he's the one.
It's not very big.
He's joking. You're off mine.
Holy cow, I'm going to go down that one.
Huh?
It says I'm not going down that one.
Steep?
No, it's just too claustrophobic for my liking. You can look at it. I mean, we could probably keep going. We'd be muddier than tar babies when we got out of there.
Let's see.
Let me come out there and give you a better look in there.
Yeah, so there's supposed to be an 80-pound bar of gold in here somewhere.
Nope. It gets pretty tight, huh?
Not for me.
Yeah, not me either. Gotta tie my shoelace here.
I'm gonna take a picture of that last little hole. Wow. Nice river.
Cobbles.
Water-worn rocks going down this thing at one time.
Yeah.
The water was just spewing out of it.
Wow, that's cool. That's a cool shaped passage.
Somebody's been chipping stuff off all over.
See that hole?
Ooh, wow. That is cool. I'm gonna picture that. Stone etched out by the acids, like they say, and then it filled up with mud and rocks,
Yeah.
and then cleaned out. Wow. Why would what's his name be interested in this? Looking for the cash?
What? Warby?
No, the other guy.
Oh, Dave or Steve or what's his name? Mel Fisher. I don't know. I have a hard time believing the story, but maybe maybe they got something out of here, but I don't know what.
Well, we're back in the mine.
Might be.
Sure looks like a cave to us.
If it's a cave, why does it twist and turn like this?
A mine?
Yeah. You think it's just a
The ore
natural
vein just turned.
a natural cave, or do you think they mined this out? I just don't see anything that looks like good
I don't.
ore.
I don't see any mining. It's getting narrower.
Is it?
Yeah, I don't want to go anywhere past right here, probably myself. It's looking nutty putty like to me. I might be able to stand up right there and we can turn our butts around.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Gosh, what was it, 3-4 days you had hanging upside down like that? You can call Warby and explain to you what a mine is.
Warby, send him the definition of a mine on
Yeah.
Merriam-Webster dictionary. I'm sure this is the one he went in.
I'll bet you. Well, I thought it is.
He must have went a hell of a lot further than we did, though. Pretty tight.
Really moist in here
Yep.
and cold.
Yeah, it's about 20 degrees colder.
It goes anywhere. Smile. You're on camera. Piece of timbering right here.
Yeah.
Let's see. We're in that stuff now. Red limestone. Sorry. You want to see what that is?
This is just like those caves on the other side.
Yeah, they're bigger.
These are bigger.
No one's.
Let's give me a hat.
Somebody lost her. Water bottle. Go back in there though, it turns into a cave.